are here with a core emphasis superset. So we're going to be doing a nice little superset full body workout. Some of the exercises are going to be a little bit more core focused, so make sure that we're engaging that core throughout all of the movements. We're going to be doing 3 sets of 10 reps of each exercise. So if it's something that's single-sided, it's going to be 10 reps on each side. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start with an overhead resisted lunge. If you have a band, this will work great for this exercise. If you don't, I'll give you another option. You're going to want to attach it to something that's sturdy, that is not going to move at all as you're doing your lunges. So if you have a band, that's great. You can get that attached. And then we're actually going to bring that band so that we're going to be holding it overhead. And then when we step out and do our lunge, we really have to make sure that we keep that core engaged so that we don't fly backwards. And also just make sure that we keep proper form as we do our lunge. So stepping forward, bringing that back knee down, pushing back through the heel of the foot that goes forward to our starting position. So that's going to be the overhead resisted lunge. If you don't have a band, you can certainly grab your weighted object, and we can always just bring that overhead and do our lunges from here. So it's not going to have quite the same effect. It's still going to be very challenging, and you're still going to have to keep that core engaged as you're doing your lunges. So that is another option. And then we're going to move into an anti-rotation press. So we're going to use our band that's still attached here. We're going to take a couple steps out holding that band at chest height, and then we're going to simply just do one press out and bring that back in. So as we're doing this, we want to make sure that the band is not allowing us to be turning at all. So really going to have to keep that core engaged. Squeeze your glutes as you're doing this as well, and then pressing that band out in front of you. So that's going to be 10 on each side. So make sure that you turn and do it the opposite way as well. And then we're going to move into a single leg RDL. So we're going to have our weight in one hand. And I usually like to reach to the opposite foot for the single leg RDLs. So if that feels comfortable for you, that's a great option. We're going to actually just hinge at the hips to bring that weight down. And you're going to feel a slight stretch in your hamstring there. Keep your knee just slightly bent, so just a soft bend as we do our RDL here. And you can let that opposite leg reach back if you want to, if you feel comfortable doing that. You can always just have that toe just kind of touching slightly behind you as well, just for a little extra support as we do our hip hinge and bend. So whatever you feel most comfortable with, that's a nice way to do that. Really make sure that you're squeezing your glute each time that you come back up from your RDL as well. So that's really going to work that area. That's going to be our first set of 3. So 3 sets of 10 reps each. And then we're going to move into a seesaw overhead press. So you're going to want 2 weights that are of equal resistance for you. And the seesaw portion, we're actually going to be keeping the weights moving the entire time. So in both hands, we're just going to be alternating. So when one hand is up, one hand is down, and then we'll be switching. So we're going to start with one up, one down, and then as you press the other one up, the other one's going to come down. So we're just going to be keeping that core tight. Feet should be about hip width apart. Really make sure everything is staying tight and engaged as we press the weight overhead. So that's going to be our seesaw overhead press. From there, we're just going to keep the weights in that front rack position here, and we're actually going to go right into our squat. So feet hip width, maybe slightly wider than hip width apart. We'll be pushing our butt back, getting our squat in, and really driving through the heels of our feet as we stand up, keeping that core engaged the entire time. Really sitting back, squeezing those glutes as you come up for our squat. So that's going to be our second superset. From there, we're actually going to move into our seesaw dumbbell rows, and then also a seesaw floor press. So for our seesaw dumbbell rows, it's going to be a bent over row. So feet are going to be hip width apart. We're going to hinge at the hips. And then the same thing with the seesaw here. We're going to start with one up and one down. As one goes up, the other goes down. So that's going to be our Seesaw Dumbbell Row, really squeezing those shoulder blades together as you're rolling your weight up. Keeping that core engaged as you're bent over as well. So that's going to be our Seesaw Dumbbell Row. We're going to move into our Seesaw Floor Press. So lying flat on our back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Slight pelvic tilt to make sure we're keeping our back flat on the floor, core engaged. And from here, we're going to press one weight up. As it comes down, the other is going to go up. So again, just pressing that weight right over our chest here, making sure that we're really squeezing that chest muscle as we're bringing that weight up and slightly in at the top. That's going to be our third superset. Everything is 3 sets of 10, so 10 reps each on each side. And then with our finisher, we're actually going to need a set of sliders here. And we're going to start with a Gator Walk. So this will be something new that we haven't done yet. We're going to want the sliders under our feet, so under our toes. And we're going to get down into our high plank position. We're going to do for our finish, we're going to do 3 sets. And we're going to try to kind of go through and do them as quickly as we can. We're going to move right from one exercise to the next, so no rest in between. So we're actually going to be staying a lot in the same position, just doing a different exercise each time. So 3 sets, there's going to be 3 exercises. So for our Gator Walk, we're going to do 10 steps. So you can do 5 forward and 5 back if you want to. If you have no space to do 10 forward, you can. So high plank position, sliders under our toes, and we're actually just going to walk ourselves forward on our hands and then back. So that's going to be the Gator Walk. From there, we're actually going to go right into just holding that high plank position for the slider plank. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Really keeping that core engaged, squeezing your glutes for the 30 seconds. And then right from your slider plank, we can actually go right into a slider runner. So we're going to do 10 reps for the slider runner on each side. So again, high plank position here. Bringing those knees up, really driving those forward, keeping that core engaged as we're doing that. Once you complete that third exercise, then you can rest for 30-45 seconds before starting your next step. If that bothers your wrist at all, you can certainly go down to having to do each exercise actually on your elbow, so that would work just as well. For your Gator Walk, it's going to be more of an army crawl. So that'll be a little bit different. You can do your plank right on your elbows, and then again the slider runner on your elbows as well. So in that plank position here, hold that for your 30 seconds, and then right into your slider runner. You'll just want to make sure that you bring your butt up a little bit so that your knees aren't hitting the floor at all. But you can do all those exercises easily that way as well, if it starts to bother your wrist at all. So that's a nice option too, so that'd be a great little finisher for you. We have some exercises today, which is awesome, so I hope that you like those. Drop them in the comments which one you like the most, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So have a great day.